This is another episode of Notable Prisons and the inmates that occupy them. And today, we are going to take a trip across the pond to, what was Her Majesty's prison is now His Majesty's prison due to the fact that Queen Elizabeth has passed away. Now, just real briefly, I was unaware of a lot of stuff, and I mentioned her on my social media, saying RIP, and I started getting a lot of different feedback. So if y'all would like to help inform me a little bit about the Queen, let me know something in the comments, rather you're from America, over there, or anywhere. You know what I mean? But let's get into this. So what I'm going to need y'all to do is get them lighters ready, okay? Okay. All right. So, HM Prison Belmarsh. It's a Category A men's prison in Thamesmead, southeast London, England. The prison is used in high-profile cases, particularly those concerning national security within the prison grounds. There is a unique unit called the High Security Unit, the HSU, which is a 48 single-cell unit regarded as the most secure prison in the United Kingdom. It's ran by HM Prison Services, His Majesty's Prison Services. It's a trip because when I was going over these notes before, it said Her Majesty. But let me give you a little bit of brief history though. Player? Belmarsh Prison was built on part of the east site of the former Royal Arsenal in Woolwich and became operational on April 2nd, 1991. It's adjacent to and adjoins Woolwich Crown Court. Between 2001 and 2002, Belmarsh Prison was used to detain a number of people indefinitely with charge or trial under the provisions of the Part 4 of the Anti-Terrorism Crime and Security Act of 2001, leading it to be the British version of the Guantanamo Bay. And actually, but anyways, the law lords later ruled in a Secretary of State for the Home Department that such imprisonment was discriminatory and against the Human Rights Act. But let's fast forward a little bit to the human. Belmarsh is a Category A prison holding prisoners from all over the UK now. In addition to Belmarsh is a local prison accepting different categories of prisoners from primarily the Central Criminal Court, Old Bailey, Magistrates Court in Southeast London. It also serves as the Crown and Magistrates Courts in Southwest Essex. Accommodations at the prison is a mixture of approximately 60% multi-occupancy cells and 40% single cells, distributed mainly across 4 residential units. Inmates at Belmarsh are offered access to education, workshops, 2 gyms, 1 gym focused on PE, physical education, and courses, and the other gym focused on recreation with use of sports hall and fitness room. The gym staff have a partnership with Charlton Athletic FC to deliver FA accredited coaching courses for prisoners. Yeah, but let's go over some of these inmates that are locked up here. So first off, we have Michael Adebolajo. He was the man who murdered a soldier, Lee Rigby. And let me tell you a little bit something. A little something about that, actually. So, on the afternoon of May 22nd in 2013, a British Army soldier, Lee Rigby, of the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers, was attacked and killed by Michael Adebolajo. And Michael Adebolajo near the Royal Artillery Barracks in Woolwich, southeast London. Rigby was off duty and walking along Wellington Street when he was attacked. And on December 19, 2013, both the attackers were found guilty. And on February 26, 2014, they were sentenced to life imprisonment. Yeah, they definitely smoked them. That's like someone in America, doing something to a cop or something. They are not going to take it too light on you. Next up, we have Ali Harb Ali. And let me tell you about him. So, on October 15th, 2021, Sir David, a British Conservative Party politician and a member of Parliament of South and West End, died after being stabbed multiple times by dude. And Ali Harbi Ali, he was a 25-year-old British man and an Islamic State sympathizer. He was arrested at the scene. He was found guilty of murder and the preparation of terrorist acts in April 2022, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment with a whole life order. A whole life order. That's what he was sentenced. Some of y'all may have never heard that term, so let's go into the little details of the term a whole life order. So over in England, life imprisonment is a sentence that lasts until the death of the prisoner. Although in most cases, the prisoner will be eligible for early release after a minimum term set by the judge. In exceptional cases, however, a judge may impose a whole life order, meaning that the offender is never considered for parole. Damn. So if you get life with a whole life order, you are definitely smoked. Next up, we have Julian Assange. He was accused by the United States of espionage, and he was held here since 2019. And he could be extradited to the U.S. But essentially, let me go into some more details, people. Let y'all know a little bit more about the guy. He's an Australian editor, publisher, and activist who founded WikiLeaks in 2006. And as some of y'all may know, WikiLeaks published a lot of stuff. And it came into international attention in 2010 when it published a series of leaks provided by the U.S. Army intelligence analyst Chelsea Manning. I spoke on her. She was in... Where was she at? She could have been in ADX Florence. I'm not sure, but I remember... No, she's in the military. She was in the military barracks, but then they released her. But these leaks included Baghdad airstrike collateral murder video and the Afghanistan war logs, the Iraq war logs, and a bunch of other secrets that the government wanted to keep secret. But, yeah, so pretty much his website was the platform for it, and he got in trouble for it. And... let's see who else we got on this list. Very interesting list. Paul Des Ballard. He's a television presenter, and he caused death by dangerous driving and various other crimes, including the R word that no one on this channel likes to hear, RAPE. So, before I even tell y'all anything else about this guy, we all know he goes into that category. He goes into the scummy category, a category we have designated for people who do heinous things like that to women and children, even men. There's some men that do this thing to men. So if you do that weird stuff, that's where they go. But the Saturday morning, he was a Saturday morning's children's television presenter and stage actor, best known by his nickname Dez as the co-presenter, along with Fern Cotton of the Saturday morning children's television program Digit. I've actually heard of that. But in August 2021, he was sentenced to 9 years in prison for causing the death of 2 people by dangerous driving. In October that year, he was given a consecutive sentence of 10 years in prison for RAPE and threats to kill and related crimes. They definitely could have smoked him a little bit longer. They could have cooked him a little bit longer. He's still, they didn't cook him long enough. He's still raw. You know what I'm saying? They need to sizzle his ass. Next up, we have David Copeland, neo-Nazi who bombed a pub where, you know, what's it called when 2 men like each other? He bombed one of those clubs in Brixton Market and Brick Lane. So, this David guy, who was apparently not liking other people's decisions of what they should do, what they want to do with their life, he was a working class. He was a couple. He was in a relationship, working class couple, and he was an engine driver. And yeah, so let me tell you a little bit more about the guy. Hold on, let me get to the good stuff, people. But back in '99, what had happened was there was a series of bomb explosions in London, England, over 3 successive weekends between the 17th and April '99 through 30th in '99, April '99. Homemade nail bombs were detonated respectively in Brixton and South London and Brick Lane in Spitalfields and East End, and the Admiral Duncan pub in Soho in the West End. Each bomb contained up to 1,500 4-inch nails in holodales that were left in public spaces. The bombs killed 3 people and injured 140 people, 4 of whom lost limbs. Damn, that is crazy. And on May 2nd, 1999, the Metro Police of Anti-Terrorist Branch charged the 22-year-old David Copeland with murder, and who became known as the London Nail Bomber, was a neo-Nazi militant and former member of the political groups, the British National Party, and then the National Socialist Movement. The bombings were aimed at London's black and LGBT communities. Copeland was convicted of murder in 2000 and given 6 life sentences. So he pretty much got a whole life order. Yeah, they definitely smoked his ass. Next up, we have the Night Stalker, Delroy Grant, a serial rapist and burglar with perhaps over 100 offenses. 100 offenses. Oh my goodness, this guy is scummy. Definitely, let's dig a little deeper in him. So, he's a Jamaican-born British convicted serial rapist who carried out a series of offenses of burglary, rape, sexual assault between October 92 and May of 2009 in the southeast London area of England. Grant, also known as the Minstead Rapist and laterly the Night Stalker, is thought to have been active since 1990, and he had a distinctive way of preying primarily on elderly women who lived alone. He is suspected of over 100 offenses from 1990 and 2009. On March 24th, 2011, Grant was found guilty of 22 offenses. The following day, he was given 4 life sentences and ordered to serve a minimum of 27 years in prison. Damn. Well, he was scummy, so they definitely had to cook him. Gotta cook the scum to get rid of it. Next, we have Daniel Hussein. He murdered two sisters in a London park. Biba Henry and Nicole Smallman were 2 sisters who were stabbed to death by Daniel Hussein in Kingsbury, northwest London, on June 6, 2020. The reporting and investigation of their killings provoked widespread discussion of women's safety, police misconduct, and the systematic racism. It also provoked discussion of the access to the far right and violent Satanist material available online, which was a motive of the killer. Wow, that's very, very sad. But in October 2021, Miss Justice Whipple, the judge, sentenced him to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 35 years. Whipple told Hussein, "You committed these vicious attacks. You did it to kill. You did it for money and misguided pursuit of power. This was calculated and deliberate course of conduct, planned and carried out with precision. And bizarre though the pact with the devil may appear to others, this was your belief system, your own commitment to the murder of the innocent women." Dang. R.I.P. to those women, man. Next we have Stephen Port. He was the grinder killer multiple rapist and murderer of 4 men. Damn. There's some pretty crazy criminals out there, and out in those parts. But anyways, he's a British convicted serial rapist and serial killer. He was responsible for the murder of 4 men and for committing multiple rapes. Port received a life sentence with a whole life order on the 25th of November in 2016, meaning he got cooked. He'll never be released. You know what they did? They grabbed their lighters. They torched him. Next up, we have Kahir Sadala. He stabbed 3 people to death in Reading Park and seriously injured others. Let me tell you a little something about Kahir Sadala. Dude was crazy, for one. But on June 20th, 2020, shortly before like 8 o'clock, a man with a knife attacked people who were socializing in a park in the UK. 3 men died from their wounds, and 3 other people were seriously injured. A 25-year-old Libyan male refugee named Kahir Sadala was arrested nearby shortly afterwards, and he was a member of the Libyan militant group Ansar al-Sharia. He was charged with 3 counts of murder and 3 counts of attempted murder. He pled guilty in January 2021, and he was sentenced to a whole life term. And that pretty much wraps it up. But I have a question for you guys if you made it this far. Let me know where y'all watching from in the comments. Give me some feedback. And also, I've noticed across the world, when you have people of power, you always have the people that applaud these people for the good things they do, and then you have people that go and find, the bad things that their names were attached to. With that being said, let me know something in the comments, man. Inform me on something. And I appreciate y'all for making it this far, and stay tuned for another episode.